as you get ready to be inspired, informed, and entertained. Get ready. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Nana. We have here today a mother, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello everyone, my name is Emanuela, Mrs. Sakimensa.
Yes, Mrs.
Yes.
Welcome to the show
Thank you.
today. Thank you for honoring our invitation to the show.
Thank you.
The first question I want to ask you is, how do you know if you're ready to be a mother?
In fact, that's a huge question because at times I don't believe you never really know if you're ready to be a mother because until you find yourself in that situation, you don't know because everything is new to you. You haven't had a baby, you haven't changed any nappies, you haven't faced any sleepless nights, so you would never know if you're actually ready to be a mom
because you don't go to school to study.
Exactly. Nobody teach you what you need to do. It needs to come naturally.
Right. Okay.
After you've taken the step of becoming a wife, joining yourself with someone, that's when the motherhood kicks in because you will learn along everything. Nobody teaches you, and everyone has a different way of seeing motherhood. Some people are very, very flexible with everything, so they take everything very easily. But some other mothers find it difficult. Even they can even go through depression or something even more serious after giving birth. So you wouldn't know if you are ready until you find yourself in it. But every woman should know that, one day I want to be a mother. So one way or the other, you will be ready when it's time.
Right. Okay.
Especially when you've been in the journey, when you've started your marriage journey, and then you are thinking about increasing in numbers, and then you're thinking about, is it the right time? You would never know if it's the right time until you get pregnant, you have the baby, and then you start facing those challenges that every mother faces, really. So I don't believe that there is a timing that will tell you. Obviously, you need to be married, and then you need to think about it with your husband and all that. But I don't think there's a specific time where you can say that, yes, now I'm ready.
Right.
But I know young ladies that they will tell me that, no, I'm not ready yet to be a wife. I'm not ready yet to be a mother because of the fact that they don't see themselves in that role yet.
Okay. Because of the other factors?
Probably because of the age, because of the fact that they are still enjoying themselves.
Okay.
But when we are young, we have a stage where we say, at 23, I want to get married. At 25, I want to have kids. But those are just numbers.
Yes. Yeah.
Unless you find yourself in the situation, you wouldn't know if you are ready. Because we hear a lot of cases where people give birth to kids, but then they can't really look after them.
They can't raise their children.
They can't raise their children because that instinct, I believe that instinct is not there for every woman. Motherly,
okay, so in other words, you're saying not everyone can be a mother. Like, motherhood is not for everyone. Should we put it like that? Is it fair to say so?
I think it is fair to say so.
Yeah.
Probably in our Black community, it's not that common. In other communities, it might be more common that motherhood is not for, because you might see ladies at 40 or 50, they don't even feel like, because it's a great commitment and sacrifice as well. You need to be ready to sacrifice your long night where you used to sleep, chill, and you're not thinking about anything, and then now during your sleep you just hear baby crying, then you need to wake up. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You need to get ready to sacrifice.
Yeah.
So if you're not ready to sacrifice, then motherhood is not for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sleepless nights.
Yes.
Sacrifice.
Yes.
And the question is, are you ready to take care of another human being, in other words?
The thing is, in fact, I think every woman find their motherhood journey differently, because I might go through pregnancy, do not vomit, do not have any kind of challenges, just a very smooth journey.
Yeah.
That way, and then when you give birth, you have a very quick labor.
Yeah.
I have friends that they go 2 hours, then they give birth.
Yeah.
Most of my labors are long labors. Wow. So after you've given birth.
What's long, sorry? When you say long labor,
how
many hours are we talking?
Oh my God. My first child, my contraction started on the Thursday, and I gave birth on Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
So just imagine the pain, that strong pain. Obviously, only those who have been through it will understand. But I can just tell you that it's similar to stronger period pains.
Wow.
From Thursday to Sunday, it's really, really bad. So, and then I've got friends who will go in the afternoon, few hours later, they've given birth.
Yeah. So they had it easy.
My second one, I went, I think, in the Saturday night, and then I gave birth on Sunday afternoon. Wow. That one was shorter, but still is classified as long.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you go through all this, and then you are thinking of having more and more, that's not only the job. The 9 months is just the beginning of the journey.
Yes. Yeah.
Then when you come home and you choose to breastfeed, that's another sacrifice. Because someone who is formula feeding might sleep more than someone who is breastfeeding, because breastfeeding is lighter. So the kids get angrier quicker.
Yeah.
And then you need to feed them more and more and more until you find that balance after the first 3 months. Okay. So that one is a sacrifice where you choose not to sleep continuously. Let's say every 2 hours you need to wake up during the night and then feed them. So those ones, they affect you psychologically as well. You need to be ready. And you know what? One thing I know is that those things, if you don't do a prenatal, even during prenatal courses or those courses that they do before you give birth, not all, they tell you about it, but they don't go into details. Especially during breastfeeding, they don't tell you that you could go into a deep depression and you could suffer. So if you're not careful, it can affect you.
Right, mentally.
Yes, it can affect you. So all those things you learn alongside.
So what would you advise, women who are looking to becoming a mother or starting a family, having kids? What would you say to those who are newly married, especially because they go under a lot of pressure?
Yes,
and that the expectation is you must have kids.
Exactly. That pressure. Let's talk about that pressure. When you get married, especially from our mummies and daddies, aunties and uncles, they are expecting you to get pregnant, and then give birth, and then the second one, another one. But then you need to think about plan, because kids are expensive. You can't just throw kids without thinking about how are you going to take care of them? Financially, their education as well. Because the more kids you have, the more demanding it becomes. Because you need to have time to spend with them, play with them, let them do activities so that they become somebody in the future. You can't just give birth to them and leave them to their own way and think that that's it. You need to plan ahead. So anytime when we got married, we didn't I didn't get pregnant as soon as that. In my mind, I gave myself a gap. I said at least a year I want to wait. Then obviously God's plan is different. So it took, I think, 2 years or 2.5. I can't really remember now, but it took some time
Yeah.
before I got pregnant. So that way you will start having that pressure.
Yeah. From
External pressure. But I think that we don't need to be affected by that pressure, because it's your choice, yourself and your husband, that need to decide when you are ready for it, because you are the one who are going to take care of them. You are the one who are going to think about how to take care of them. Then obviously you need to think about, here in the UK or even in Europe, not all of us have the support of our parents, people who will help you when you have your kids. And then you need to think about those things comes in after you've given birth, that you start thinking about. It's so funny. You can plan whatever you want, but when you give birth, that's when you start thinking about other things that are involved. Your 9-to-5 job, are you still going to carry on with that 9-to-5 job?
Very true.
Are you going to leave your child somewhere for the whole day, then the only time you spend with your child is in the evening? It's a sacrifice, especially when you have your firstborn. You're a bit more reluctant, because it's your first fruits. You want to spend as much as time with your child, so it becomes very, very, very challenging. But what I would advise is to avoid listening to that pressure that comes from people outside. Because if we had to follow, the more you follow those people, the more it delays, honestly speaking. And the more you get that pressure that, you need to do it. Then when you have the child, you don't even know where to start from, because you were not ready.
Because some people can be very insensitive.
Yes.
And for all you know, perhaps that person had a miscarriage.
Exactly.
Just a day before. And you asking that person, oh, when are you having kids and all of this? Like,
to be honest with you, honestly speaking, I'm not ashamed to say that I had a miscarriage before my first daughter.
Wow.
And then those things, nobody teach you during counseling how to face a miscarriage or something. So it's left to you and your husband to deal with it. And you need to, and then you start asking yourself, how does it work? Because usually they tell, you sleep with your husband, you get pregnant, and that's it. You don't think about other things that may be involved in that miscarriage that came. So those challenges, you need to learn to deal with it between you and we had a friend that had the same situation, and he asked my husband, how did you deal with that situation? And we told them that, honestly speaking, we learned later that those things are common, especially when it's your first pregnancy, because your womb is not used to carrying a baby. So because it's now getting used to it, it can happen that it can't hold the pregnancy, and then it would just go. And then when you try again, it will hold the pregnancy for the 9 months. But those are challenges that you need to be ready to face, and you do not need to feel ashamed about it, because it can happen.
Because you're not the only one.
You're not the only one. And then you obviously, always that pressure that comes from outside will put you off, and then you start thinking, what am I doing wrong? But we need to think about the fact that we are human beings. We are not machines. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Would you say prior to starting a family, or let's say prior to getting married, would you have gone into the depth of checking if you're fertile enough? Are there any health issues? Are these all necessary to do, in your opinion?
To be honest with you, I don't think that in our community, I would say that 80% of the people don't do any kind of checks, because we believe that we are all fertile. Nothing is going to happen. We are powerful. Exactly. The only thing I can say is that when you get pregnant, when you get married, they will advise you to start taking folic acid, those vitamins that will help you become more and more fertile. but we didn't do any tests to check. Honestly speaking, and then obviously you would think about the love between you and your husband. So whatever that comes, I believe that children is just an addiction to the blessings in the marriage.
Wow.
Because we've got couple that have no kids, but they're still happily married.
Happily married, yes.
And they can even think about adoption. And also, I don't believe that those texts needs to be done when you know that you love your partner and you've agreed that you still want to get married, no matter what.
But then that means it depends on whether you've had that conversation prior to getting married to that person.
Exactly.
Because for all you know, it could be that the man wants to have kids straight away.
Yeah.
Or let's just say he wants to have kids just in general. And so you not being able to...
Obviously, that's a different situation, because obviously that man obviously will ask if there is any issue, or the lady can ask if there is any issues. But then obviously you would have done your own checks prior to getting married if you knew that you had any issues.
Okay.
So in that way you will have to share it with your partner. But if through your teenage and everything you've never had any issue, you haven't been diagnosed with anything, I think that you can just get married if there is love, and then whatever comes after will just be an additional blessing.
And I also think it's important that prior to getting married to that person, you would want to know if can we stay together even if there's no kids in the picture, right?
That's a huge thing, because especially for...
maybe it may delay. Let's just call it may delay.
I don't want to say if it... But I think men are more sensitive to that, I think. Because...
In what regard? How do you mean?
I mean that... let's say a woman knows that she cannot have babies, but she still loves her husband. She would just stay with her husband and go with it. They might probably adopt or something. But a man might want his own child, then try other ways. We don't want to divert the topic, but try other ways to have kids. So honestly speaking, it's always something that you need to agree on before you get married. If it comes after marriage, then you need to decide if you want to carry. But I don't think that should be an excuse to leave your husband or wife and go somewhere else to find what you want. Because if it has to come, it will come at the right time. And if you go outside and then later on that blessing that you were looking for comes, are you going to regret it, or what are you going to do? It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
So what are the things that you can mention that are fun, let's say fun things that you make out of motherhood? What are the benefits, or what are the fun things that you find about being a mother?
Honestly speaking, let's say when you're giving birth, you're always hoping that the child will look like you or will look like the dad. So seeing your photocopies growing makes you proud, makes you happy, because you've achieved something. The fact that you know that they are going to become somebody in the future, that makes you proud. Then even a smile after even the mess that they make, we complain a lot about it, but then at the same time, when you think about the fact that at the beginning it was just you and your husband, and then just like that you have these kids around even this sofa, you cannot see it, but it's not like it used to be right now. All because of the kids. But the more you think about those things, and the more you think about the fact that someone is living somewhere looking for that blessing that you have, so you should just be happy about it, because not all of us has that opportunity and privilege to be called mothers. So that's just a blessing. Another thing, this is another thing that I want to add about it. I don't know if it's a question, I can't remember. But having thinking about your, as a mother, thinking about your career, thinking about what am I going to do when I have my kids. You know, before having kids, you don't think about the job that you're doing, if it's the right job, until you have kids. Because
okay.
yes, thinking about your career path, because usually we just think that, oh yeah, I'll be able to do that same job forever, then that's it, I can manage. But you need to look for the help. Do you have the right help around you? Are you going to do that 9-5 from Monday to Friday forever? Are you going to leave your children in the nursery the whole day? Then you go and pick them up in the evening. It is a sacrifice. My husband always say that, as for women, yeah, we go up, 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 up. Then we've got that maternity stage that we go pound down again.
Can you imagine?
Back to square one. Then we need to start again. Hey, mothers are such a blessing. Trust me, such a blessing to all of us. So thinking about, I was working in an office before having my kids. Working 9 to 5. I was thinking that after I've done my maternity period, I'll go back to that same job 9 to 5. But then came the time when my daughter was 10 months old. And I had to decide, am I going back to that 9 to 5? Am I going to leave her alone for that long every single day? Then I chose to go for a night job, because at least that way I'll be with her during the day. So right now that's what I'm doing, but then you need to choose the right career path, because most of the time those jobs in the health sector helps a lot, because it gives you that flexibility. Nursing jobs, all those kind of jobs, they gives you that flexibility to look after your children. I'm not saying that we should forget about our career, but the same, especially those people who have all the help that they need to look after their children, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. But when you don't have your family around, your mom doesn't live next to you or close to you, and then you need to think about who's going to take care of your child. That's why you need to think about your career as well, making the right choice. That's all part of the sacrifice,
because it affects whether you have the time for your
especially
children.
when they reach primary. They finish at 3 o'clock. Who is going to pick them for you? You need to think, are you going to pay extra? It all involves money. So you need to think about all of that. But the funny thing is that you don't start questioning yourself until you have kids.
Very true. So you mean you can't really
plan
to say, okay, maybe once I've given birth,
this is what I'm going to do, and then next I will do this. It doesn't always change. It can change. It doesn't always work as planned.
But do you think sometimes if you have an idea, like here you're now sharing with us your journey, it may help loosen or give people an idea of how to tackle that moment in time where you're not sure of what to do. Because I think sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves to think that it's only one way. Either you're a housewife, you stop everything else that you're doing.
That's completely wrong.
Exactly.
We have some women that likes being housewife, but you know, in our generation, it's not that common. We all, especially women, needs to feel fulfilled in something. They need to feel that, yes, I'm helping my partner in achieving a goal. You don't want to be the mom who stays at home, cleans the house. That's why moms are special, because our responsibilities are huge. Obviously your husband, your partner will help you, but at the same time there are certain things that only you as a mom can do. So you need to think about that, but don't believe in that sacrifice where you decide to be a housewife forever. No, it can even affect you psychologically, mentally, everything. No, I don't think it's right.
But then again, you have people who have about, say, five or more kids, And all they can really choose to do at that time
That's
is
a choice.
It's a choice.
That's
yeah.
a choice.
It's a
when you
choice.
choose to have, especially when you don't leave any gap between your children.
Yeah. Okay.
We want to talk about that?
Let's dive in.
When you don't leave any gaps between, honestly speaking, it's an individual choice. As I was saying at the beginning, there are women that finds the pregnancy journey very, very easy. So as soon as they give birth, they can start with another pregnancy and then go on and on and on and on. But then there are other people that need that break to recover from the first experience and then move to another one. Because it can lead you to depression. Not sleeping for hours, and especially when you have crying babies. That one is another challenge. Constantly crying all the time. That's another challenge. You don't want to put yourself at risk as a woman just because of a rush and thinking that, oh no, I need to have all my babies within these few years. Because you need to think about your health as well. Then obviously the relationship, having kids, it's about the relation. You need to think about the relationship between you and your husband as well. Because when kids come in at the beginning of them, as soon as straight after you get married, that becomes another thing to think about. Because you don't have that time that you used to have with your husband anymore. Some kids don't want to sleep in their bed. We have ladies who are lucky, and I'm so jealous about those moms that can keep their children in their own bed, and then you can sleep and don't worry about anything. But as for my children, they still sleep around. They sleep a bit in the cots, then they want to come close to you. Then you need to find that intimacy with your husband again. Because that straight after you give birth, there are certain things that you're not even thinking about anymore. Because you are focusing on your child at the beginning, unfortunately, and that becomes a challenge for the marriage as well. That's why that I say that having children straight after you get married is a choice. It's a big choice, because have you known your husband enough? You've lived together for a few months, then a baby comes in. Then those fights will begin because you didn't have enough time to get used to each other. Then another human being comes in
and replace
that piece that you had. So all those things, and you need to learn how to overcome those challenges as well. That's when you will know if your marriage is strong enough. Because motherhood, you have a lot of responsibilities. You have a lot of responsibilities.
And if the question is your partner ready also? It's not just you. Are you ready
to hold your hand?
Be a mother?
Exactly. Is your partner ready?
Is he ready?
Exactly. Because nowadays, fine, there are certain things that is only for a woman to do, but I do believe that now sharing responsibilities, it's also very important for the mental health of the woman. Because we've got in the past, for our mothers and fathers, they used to say, oh no, these things are only for the woman to do, and these things are only
gender roles.
You take care of the children, I'll go to work, and then that's it. You take care of the house, but then you're expecting your wife to be strong as well. And be there for you.
I really salute mothers.
Exactly.
I really, really salute you, mothers.
Yes, honestly. All of you.
Why? Because in today's generation, women are very career driven.
Yes.
We're achieving amazing things that perhaps our mothers were not able to achieve.
Exactly.
And now having to basically put your hat down and say, okay, I'm going to have kids now. It's a commitment you have to make and be ready for, in a way.
Yes.
And I guess also my other question would be, are there any literature? Is there anything that you use to help keep you in check? Did you have family, friends? Were there places or societies? What did you do to help you get through that time? And did you access any sort of online resources? It could be a book. Like, what is it that you use to help advise you in a way? Because you don't get that information just like that anywhere and everywhere.
Even
during your counseling,
exactly,
it's not really
into depth.
Right? Premarital counseling I'm referring to. So what is out there?
To be honest with you, I think that we actually need something like that in our Black community, because at times when you our group age, our friends, I think we all gave birth around the same time. So at times when you're looking for advice, you ask your friend, oh, how do you do it? And at times you need, I think we also feel shy in asking questions.
Yes.
Because we feel that, oh, that question might be a stupid question, excuse me to say, but it may not, because you've never been in that situation before, and you need answers to your questions.
Yes.
I used to use Google a lot. I know it's not always reliable,
right?
But then, as for me, any
Mm.
question I have, I go on Google and type it and look for the various answers that they can give me. Because even, is this food good for my baby? I'll look for that question on Google. Or because obviously the way that our moms used to look after us is a bit different from how they do it nowadays. So certain things they may not be aware of, so you need to do your own research. And I love, anytime one of my friends gives birth, I have a particular friend that I'm very close with. Anytime she needs an advice, even what I use with my kids, she will ask me to find out what I used for my kids. And then if she needs support with something, even in choosing the right nursery, it's good to talk between moms. It's good to share ideas. I don't think there is, because at times we believe that, oh, my way is right and the other way is wrong. But it's good to share ideas about it. Nowadays, thanks to Instagram, we've got a lot of mommies who shares their opinion and stuff. I also follow some of them, because at times they might be sharing something that, oh, you actually didn't think about. And it might help with your child. Even with sleeping patterns, when is the right time to feed. For example, my second born is almost 10 months now, and I was trying to find the right routine for her. So I looked for the various options on Google, because I wasn't sure if I was feeding her right, because at times she will cry, and then I would think, is she hungry? Does she need breast milk? Does she just need... so I was trying to understand the right gap. So I Googled it. And then I asked, those questions that they put on Instagram, those mom. So I'll ask, and then they will also share their opinion, and that opinion might help you improve yourself. So I believe that it's always good to share between our friends that are mothers. Do not be ashamed, because nowadays we have a lot of resources. We need to make use of it. Even on Instagram or Snapchat, if you see something that you think that might help your child, just ask. Because we are not perfect. We are not perfect. Someone might be doing something in her home. A mom might be doing something in her home that can help you as well. Absolutely. To improve yourself. And the thing is that as a mother, you always feel that you're doing something wrong. You're not doing enough. So you're always looking for something more. What can I do to improve myself as a mom? But we're talking about motherhood, but at the same time, you need to think about that being a wife, being a mom, being, what else?
We'll come to that.
Yes.
We'll come to that.
They are all linked together. So you always need to improve yourself in a lot of ways. So those looking for resources, apps. There are apps that gives you the recipes, food recipes for our kids. when you're trying to balance between the British food, let's say, and then the Ghanaian, the recipes, you're trying to balance. So you will trying to find those recipes that will help your child to like veggies and stuff. Those apps helps a lot. I used to have one from Philips. Then I had another one. I can't remember the name now, but I always look for resources that can help it. And you never finish learning. You're always learning something new. So it's not that when you have a first child, you know everything, so you don't need any help anymore. Your second, all children are unique. They all need different attention. They all have different needs. There are certain things that you need to learn to deal with. That's a topic on its own, because you don't know the challenges that you're going to face. So you need to be ready to educate yourself on certain things. So as a mother, I think that we don't need to limit ourselves to what our moms will tell us, because their experience is good, but also do your own researches on things that can help you. Even as of now, even if I have 2 kids, I still Google stuff to help myself improve. Wow.
Emanuela, thank you so much for joining us on this.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
You shared a lot of things.
There's more and more and more.
Wow. And what I would say on this note, everyone who is watching us, kindly subscribe to this channel so that we can grow this community. We're bringing you more of these things just to share our knowledge and our views and perspectives on life. So what I will say is kindly subscribe, share, like, and comment below. If there's anything out there that you can help others who are watching this particular topic out there, please comment below. And stay blessed and stay tuned for the next one. As you get ready to be inspired, informed, and entertained, get ready.